And, there was a moment where I was playing defense against Cade, and he went to the hole, and I got elbowed in the face, like the first possession.
Flagrant elbow.
So that was, a welcome to NBA moment.
What's up, Piston fans? It's your boy, Flagrant Elbow. Thank you all for checking in with me and riding with me so far and riding with these Pistons. Hopefully they can pull out a win tonight after that loss they just suffered against the Nets. But I got an article today we're going to highlight and talk about a comment made in that article by Dwayne Casey. This article comes from Mike Curtis, the new beat writer for the Detroit News. And this is about the Pistons giving up 44 points in the third quarter when they lost to the Nets. And that was huge to give up that many points in the third quarter. But this is a trend that's been happening with the Pistons here lately. The game the other night against Sacramento, they gave up 38 points in the third quarter, and that also resulted in a loss. So Dwayne Casey made some good points. We're going to talk about those points right here in a second. But before we get to that, I want to thank you all once again for checking in, for tuning in with your boy, Flagrant Elbow. Thank you all. We got 637 subscribers. Thank you all for that support. We continue to be in there, hanging in there, and riding with these Pistons as they look to be more competitive and hopefully turn out some wins. If not, the main point right now is to be competitive as they get ready to turn the corner by next season. That's what we're looking at, being able to turn the corner and really being serious contenders in the East to make it to the playoffs. So this year, definitely we may be looking again for a lottery pick, but still you want to see some competitive basketball. Find out which pieces we need to change, switch up, and which pieces can remain. That's what we're looking at with this season in this far at this level that we're at as far as the restore is concerned for these Detroit Pistons. So the main thing right now is building and finding an identity, finding out who we are, playing with defensive intensity, and with that identity, putting that identity on our backs and rolling with it each time when they get out there on that floor. So the name of the game is intensity and being competitive right now. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this video. Dwayne Casey in that article made a good comment. He said, we played 3 quarters of basketball, and it was the nemesis that we talked about before the game and at halftime, the third quarter. His coach Dwayne Casey said, we have to understand the disposition that you have to come out with. We had a 17-point lead, and then we came out of halftime like they weren't going to go out and come out and play. Once they turn that water on, it's tough to turn it off. So 44 points in the third quarter against the Nets, 38 points in the third quarter against the Kings. Hopefully this is something those guys, they can change, they can fix, they can work on. But the main thing is coming out with intensity, ready to play some basketball. I think really after that first and second quarter, you know who's ready to roll tonight. If that third quarter is our problem, then those guys that's ready to roll, they need to start that third quarter. I don't care if it's bench players and some starters. That third quarter is a problem. With a 17-point lead, Detroit really had no business losing that game. Although that was a game that you can understand they would lose against KD and Kyrie Irving. But still, 17 points in a half in which they dominated that first half. They really dominated that first half. You just want to see some carryover with that. And especially coming out of halftime. Adjustments need to be made. Now, coaches, are you guys making the right adjustments? Are you motivating and pumping up your team to come out there and play with the grit that they need to have in the third quarter? It's not just on the players, but the coaches have to be out there, have to be pumping them up. They got a halftime meeting. That meeting, they need to be letting them know what they need to fix, because what happens is if you've been leading the game those first 2 quarters like that, and you got a 17-point lead, obviously we're doing everything good. But understanding that that other team is going to make adjustments, we got to know where areas we need to clamp down on. What areas do we need to lock down on? Hey, the corner 3 has been wide open. They've been killing us with that quite a few times. Let's watch out for that. Hey, they might be looking to penetrate more. Let's close the paint off. One thing I noticed the Pistons do a lot of, it seems like they do a lot of collapsing. When you got Durant and you got Beef Stew protecting the paint, I don't think the other three players, the guards, forward, and the shoot small forward, need to be focused so much on getting in that paint. Because what happens is you're leaving a lot of wide open shooters on the other team. A lot of wide open shooters. They're going to set picks. They're going to run pick and roll plays. Sometimes the big men will have to go out and help defend on the perimeter. And that's where that switching comes in that I really don't care for as much. But sometimes he has, with the switching, you got big men that's out there on the perimeter checking the guard. And now you got that guard defending the center in the paint. And that's not really, I think to curtail that, Casey has them collapsing the paint. And that's leaving wide open shooters on the opposing team for open threes. And if you notice one thing about the Pistons when they're playing, seems like the other team has a lot of wide open shots, whereas the Pistons have to work hard for each shot. So I don't know if the switching is necessarily working. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the switching. Have you noticed them collapsing the paint and leaving wide open shooters on the opposing teams? But what do you think is going to be necessary for them to compete in the third quarter? Because the third quarter is a huge problem right now for these Pistons. So something's got to change. They got to fix something. They got to fix it. They need to fix it now. They need to fix it now. I think that'll help them as far as being competitive, to be able to hang in there and continue to work on winning and closing out games. I'd rather them be in a situation where they have a lead through the game and they're trying to close and hold on to that lead than just getting blew out in the third quarter. No one respects that. It's like, what were you doing the whole first two quarters? Teams will just play with you and wait till the third quarter to play. Teams will just play with you. They won't respect your game. Where I don't think that's the problem right now. I think the Pistons are being respected. And teams just can't play with the Pistons those quarters where they're winning in the first half. But you got to understand, basketball is a game of runs, and that other team is going to make a run. So hopefully we're going to see what's going to happen tonight. Pistons won in their last meeting against the Jazz. So no doubt the Jazz is going to be looking to get back at them. Conley didn't play last time, but Conley will be playing this game. So we're going to see what the Jazz have in store for the Pistons. So it'll be an interesting game. Bojan, I think he had like 26, 28 points against the Jazz last time. So we'll see what Bojan does playing against his former team. But should be a good, interesting game, and I'm sure the Jazz will be looking to close out their, I think they're on a road trip. I think this is the third game of their road trip, and I think they're going to be looking to get this game and to win, especially having lost to the Pistons before. So it'll be a good game to watch. Once again, thank you all for tuning in and checking out your boy, Flagrant Elbow. Hopefully we can pull out a win this game and have something good to talk about tomorrow, right? All right, with that being said, everybody, don't forget to check out the merch link in the description. Merch does help the channel out and also help support the channel. And I will receive a commission from anything purchased. Appreciate all of your support, all of your comments. Hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Let's get off 637. We've been on 637 now for about a few days. Let's get off 637. Let's get to 638, 640 for this video, and let's set a goal for at least 20 likes for this video. So if we can hit those goals, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for your continued support. With that being said, everybody stay safe.